Hi everybody. For my experiential learning project, I decided to do a technology integration plan proposal for the school that I actually work at right now, which is Clinton Elementary School. You might have seen that I did a case study on this school previously in the class. And the proposal is essentially to transition from traditional learning to a one-to-one digital tool learning environment. And that digital tool that I'm proposing is tablets for reading comprehension and enhancement in the classroom. And for the purpose of my proposal, I'm focusing specifically on grades 3 to 5, more so because those grades are the testing grades for the LEAP state standardized testing at the end of the year. And in my case study, or basically the examples that I'm providing um, for the proposal, I focus on grade 4, but the proposal is meant to serve grades 3 to 5, the testing grades. Okay, so again, this is Clinton Elementary School in East Feliciana District. Okay, so a little bit about the district. We are a letter grade, sorry, a C, as in the district report card, and a C in terms of student progress. Students who score a mastery and above on the LEAP are only 15% of students in the district. 67% of the schools in the district are considered low performing school by the state standards. Here's a little bit about our state testing proficiency data. We score a 55% proficiency in math, while the state average is 63. And in ELA, we score 66% proficiency, while the state average is 69. So, which is why most of the schools are considered low performing. And the school that I specifically work at, which is CIR, is considered a CIR, which means comprehensive intervention required. So the school is actually in danger of needing to be taken over by the state for continuously being low performing, which is why I wanted to really use my experiential learning project as an opportunity to create a proposal to change that and make our practices more efficient in the classroom. So a little bit about the demographics of the school in question is we have 242 students, majority of them students of color, majority of them also low-income students, 15-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio. So it's a pretty small school, which is also good for implementing something like tablets, because of course there are less students that we would need to serve than perhaps a school in a district that's not rural. Additionally, resources can really be honed in when there's like less students. There's more time to train teachers, more time to train students on safe and effective use of the one-to-one digital technology. Okay, a little bit about the current learning environment. Like I said, I'm going to focus on 4th grade, but this is pretty typical for all grades in the testing grade, so 3 to 5. So a typical class would have traditional seating. Each class has a whiteboard and a smart board and a few class computers. We have computer labs for the purpose of research that's already built into the curriculum, or research in other subjects like social studies. The only grade right now that has access to Chromebooks is 5th grade. And like I mentioned before, they are required by the state to test online. And so it's more important that they have the access to the few Chromebooks that ELA has in the whole entire school, because they need more opportunities to practice being digitally inclined and digitally competent in order to prepare to test at the end of the year. So in literacy, we use the Guidebook 2.0 curriculum, which is this one right here, Learn Zillion, and the Social Studies Weekly, which comes in a physical magazine, as well as an online component. So some of the challenges in ELA, and again, even though I'm focusing on 4th grade, I'm speaking to 4th grade because I'm a 4th grade teacher, but most of these challenges kind of rule across the board for grades 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So in instruction, we use a Tier 1 curriculum. And the issue with this is that it's pretty new to the school, and for a low-performing school, it's quite difficult to transition into Tier 1 curriculum. The second challenge is kind of one of the reasons why. There are so many students in a given class with varied reading levels, and I'll show you an example of that on the next slide. 504 accommodations and differentiations are not necessarily built into a Tier 1 curriculum, which makes it difficult to serve each student and their unique accommodations and differentiation needs. Most of the time, students we don't have access to a para every single day of the week, and so most of the responsibility falls on the teacher to provide all of those accommodations. Infrastructure, of course, funding is a huge deal. Anytime you're talking about implementing a new digital tool, for especially one-to-one digital tool, training for technology leaders, professional development. We haven't really had any professional development that's geared towards making teachers more proficient technologically. And then safe implementation, making sure that students are using these digital tools in effective ways and in appropriate ways. Okay, so here's some benchmark data. And for this data, we use the program the STAR reading program, which assesses students' current literacy abilities at the beginning of the year and then periodically throughout the school year to assess how they are progressing using the current practices at the school or in the classroom. And the STAR reading program it's pretty common across America. Most schools use it as a means to assess reading levels. So here's some data for this current year, 2019-2020 school year. The scores show that 21 out of 30 students, or 70%, scored in the lower 30 percentile of the diagnostic assessment at the beginning of the 4th grade literacy and language course for the 2019-2020 school year. And a quick legend so that you can understand what's going on. The red squares mean that the student needs urgent intervention. Students' names are on the side, but they have been their initials to protect student confidentiality and privacy. Red, urgent intervention. Yellow means some sort of baseline intervention is needed. Blue means they are on watch for requiring intervention, and green means that they are performing above or at the grade level benchmark that they should be performing at. Okay, so as you can see, yes, it's a huge challenge where majority of the students entering into a given class, a given 4th grade class, are not performing at the same reading level and are not performing at grade level expectation, which is what Tier 1 curriculum operates on, the notion that all students are operating on grade level or are proficient in reading at the grade level. So some opportunities. Essentially, the digital tablet, some opportunities for the digital tablets is that it can personalize and individualize learning. It can expand the scope of learning and address the needs of diverse learners. And we'll talk more about those in the goals. So this plan is proposing 5 overall goals of digital tablet implementation. The first being use tablets to address reading intervention needs such as phonics, sight word support, reading strategy during designated intervention times tailored to students' current literacy proficiency. So we have intervention times set aside, but we just don't have something as groundbreaking as a one-to-one digital tool that can really boost students' ability to become more proficient in literacy and boost their opportunities to do so and address their specific intervention needs at the same time, because everybody's intervention needs are different. Goal number 2, implement one-to-one digital tool to personalize accommodations and instruction and merge the use of it with Tier 1 curriculum in a way that's individualized to adapt to students' diverse learning needs. So again, this is to serve students with 504 accommodation plans and students with IEP plans. Goal number 3, expand literacy learning process by enhancing student access to diverse learning styles and resources. So again, personalizing learning, allowing students to be more engaged in ways that they're used to. We are dealing with Generation Z, who frankly, they grew up, being engaged in different ways that traditional learning methods don't necessarily serve them in the same way anymore. Goal number 4, prepare students to take assessments online by giving them multiple opportunities to build digital competence. Okay, so not just waiting till they get to 5th grade and have access to the Chromebooks before they're building their digital competence and stamina to take assessments and do work online. Number 5, create and cultivate more opportunities for students to engage in more project-based learning with the aid of emerging technologies such as AI, AR, and IoT. So again, expanding the realm and the possibilities of their learning and allowing group projects to be more creative and more complex, and more project-based learning, which has been proven to be effective in pedagogy. Okay, so proposal, tablets for literacy. So in intervention, these are just specific practices or specific suggestions on how to implement these tablets and how to specifically use them in literacy course. So for intervention, there are multiple reading fluency apps that can be downloaded onto the tablets, personalized intervention software that can generate questions and problem solve based on the student's unique interests and unique needs, individualized guidance for mastering 4th grade literacy standards. So again, addressing diverse learning styles and making sure that the learning is as personalized as possible for students. Instruction. So there are multiple ways that we can use tablets for instruction itself. Translators for English language learners, digital dictionaries for even, to build students' vocabulary, comprehension, real-time research, leveled readers for unit text. So in a given unit, there will be an anchor text that the class will be working on together, but however, many students not reading on the same grade level means that certain students will need leveled readers, and so they can use the tablets and their headphones, and during independent reading time, which is already built into the curriculum, they can use those to address their reading needs. The teachers can also set up virtual class field trips for instruction enhancement. And here are some things that we need to do in order to make the implementation and integration successful and effective. And I'll just kind of highlight just some of the most important ones. Of course, making sure that we're in line with national and international standards, making sure teachers become technologically proficient, strengthening technology leadership skills, making sure that leaders and administrators are overseeing the integration and implementation into the classroom, modeling best practices and appropriate uses of the tablets, making sure that all administrators and teachers are receiving continuous training and professional development. Supporting teachers and ensuring alignment with the curriculum and overall international and district and federal education technology standards and goals. Reallocation of funds, which is very important to make sure that we have the necessary accompanying parts, tablets, technology hardware, software licenses. So these are essentially some of the benchmarks that we would use to ensure that we are efficiently implementing and integrating the tablets as the one-to-one digital tool in the classroom. I thank you all so much, and congratulations on getting to the end of our semester. And it was great to work with you all. Thank you so much.